time and time again.
Your boy man Mike here, man. I want to talk about something. Really want to talk about something because there obviously um a subject matter at hand that a lot of people are doing their best to try to they're trying to convince me, they're trying to convince themselves that this is the truth. And I want to know. I want to know what you guys think at the end of the day, man. Because this is one of those things where you say to yourself, like, what's what? How do you even get to this point? What's what, and how we get to this point? I want to read off quite a few numbers because we keep blaming everybody and everybody else for problems. And BP, what's going on? I think it's freaking hilarious, quite frankly, that this guy and these fans of his, it's incredible. Nowhere else in sports that we look at these numbers and look at his record and we say, yeah, it's everybody else's fault. Where in basketball can we look at a team that has had a revolving door with their offensive guys? And I mean the offensive coaches, offensive staff, whether it's baseball, basketball, football. We're talking about the head guys, a revolving door with their coaches. And there's been one constant with a player, and he's put up some pretty good numbers, but we say time and time again, it's everybody else's fault. Where else in any sport that we can say it's not the player's fault, is everybody else's fault? We're at what? Let's say this: a playoff, for example, a playoff. You average 35 points a game in the playoffs in the regular season. You're whomever, SGA, Trey Young, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Hakeem Olajuwon. Where in the world do we say that it's okay for a player to average 35 points a game during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, you average damn near half of that? Where is that acceptable? Where in the bloody hell is that acceptable? Where I can look at myself and say, during the regular season, I'm the best player. I don't put up the most touchdowns. I don't like my team was ranked number one in everything. Touchdowns, yards, rushing yards, all of that. Name one game you can say, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, where I can say to myself that nope, it's everybody else's fault. This is the problem that I have. This is the problem that I have when it comes down to this entire argument and why it's so foolish. It's sad, it's foolishness, and it's just downright stupidity. So I want to read you guys some numbers, and I'm gonna read you some comments on top of it. Y'all can throw y'all 2 cents in there also. I mean, I'm just read. I'm not gonna say who it is, but y'all are gonna know once I start reading it out. Okay, these numbers: 14 of 29, 48%, 194 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. 31 of 59, 52% passing, 365 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. 17 of 28, 70% passing, 179 yards, no touchdown, 1 interception. 14 of 24, 162 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. 16 of 22, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 20 of 37, 272, 1 touchdowns, 1 interception. 16 of 21, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And finally, 18 of 25, 254, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So we have a grand total of 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 1,700 yards in a playoff game. That's from one player. I'm gonna read out some other stuff because I just want to give people a more of a reason to just look at a lot of these things. Okay, let me read out some other numbers, and this is from another player. 26 of 40, 199, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. 20 of 29, 186, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. 24 of 41, 199, no touchdown, no interceptions. Okay, we got another one here. There was 2 games here. So you got another game. Let me just give you this one. This guy has passed the ball. He made it all the way. You got 1, 2, 3. Well, you got to eliminate 1, 2, 3 times over and over again. He's got one. He advanced to the playoffs, to the Super Bowl 1 time. Made it past 2 times, and the other guy hasn't made it to a championship. And I want to let me read these comments because I'm gonna just go ahead and say these 2 guys on the screen is who I was talking about.
Here we go.
These are the guys that I'm talking about right here on the screen. A lot of the league said time and time again that Matt Ryan was a complete failure. Yeah, this is true. A lot of people said that Matt Ryan was a complete failure because he could not get his team over the hump. Just imagine that. Just imagine this. See, this is what I throw in there too. I want to throw this in there too. Matt Ryan's a complete failure. A lot of people say that he won't even make it to the Hall of Fame. You know what? I'm a etch that. I got a better player. We're gonna talk about somebody who's already in the Hall of Fame. I want to scratch that. I'm going to go to the great Steve Young. Anybody know how many yards Steve Young has actually played or passed for in the NFL? Because it's funny that we're talking about this right now. You're talking about a guy, Steve Young, that have thrown and played 15 in the NFL. Two of them with Tampa and San Francisco. And when he was in San Francisco, he didn't become the starter for San Francisco for the first 5 years. All right, we got 5 years out of the career. For the first 5 years, he wasn't the starter for the team. Yet this dude, in that time frame, who was considered a mobile quarterback. Now we're gonna compare this to a mobile quarterback because this is why it's so sad that we even at this point. That fans want to point at everybody else. This man is thrown for over 30,000 yards. But the difference in these guys, him is what? You can't say it's talent. You can't say the difference. Oh, San Francisco didn't have a loaded team. San Francisco had a loaded team. Because now we're talking about Lamar Jackson fans saying, oh, he didn't have this and he didn't have that. Well, guess what? The same type of guy, the same type of player had a loaded team offensively, defensively, and he still put up numbers. And he still won. And the San Francisco 49ers. What's up, Mook? Sonya, Yashgate, John, the Southside, Terry, what's going on? John, BP, what's going on? D. Sloan, Floyd. Ooh, we're going to compare these guys. We're going to compare these guys to like-minded individuals because y'all say that he don't have any players, but and he got an offensive line. Check. A top 10 offensive line without a doubt. Check every year. A top running game. Check every year. And a lot of people like to say, "Oh, he don't have good receivers." This man has had receivers. Hollywood Brown throughout his career. You got a guy like right now in Zay Flowers. For the first 7 years out of his career, he's had a top wide receiver. Stop it. He don't have good receivers. Well, tell me how a guy catch 90 passes in a season and not be a good receiver. Will, what's going on? I don't understand the notion that a guy can catch 90 passes for 1,000 yards a season, and y'all saying that he's not a good receiver. Rashad Bateman is coming to his own. How is it that these guys could catch what Rashad Bateman because of their offense is how it's designed? He catches the ball anywhere between 40 to 50 times a game because Lamar doesn't like to throw to his wide receivers. But you tell me that he doesn't have the receivers. Well, how is that to be the case? The receivers are on the field. These guys are open. So you tell me why aren't these guys getting the ball? Why is it Lamar throwing to these guys? Because they're open. We can see the film. But what did he do? Anybody take a wild guess? Lamar Jackson is literally, when you talk about quarterback that pass the ball to their tight ends and their running backs, Lamar Jackson is without a doubt number one. It's not a quarter. It's not many quarterbacks in this league that throw to their tight ends and their running backs more than Lamar Jackson. Sam Darnold, all these guys that played with good wide receivers, Matthew Stafford, all these guys are able to get the ball into their wide receivers' hands. A guy that they said that was an absolute bust, and Jared Goff is able to get the ball into three of his wide receiver hands. Amon St. Brown. Nobody would say he was when you first drafted him. Oh, he was going to be a number one wide receiver. Nobody would have thought that. Somehow you see Jared Goff is able to get the ball into his hands. Nobody would say now that he sucks. Somehow Lamar Jackson is the best quarterback, but he's unable to get the ball into the wide receiver hand. But guys like Jared Goff, who are perceived to be trash quarterbacks, at some point in time in their career, these guys are able to get the ball into the wide receiver's hands. But the guy that you said is the greatest and the best quarterback in the NFL, he's unable to get the ball into the wide receiver's hands, and yet they don't have receivers. So I want to use the stats. I want to use stats and numbers to prove to you guys. It's like, how could it be anybody else's fault except for his? How many times have the Baltimore Ravens fired and replaced and changed their offense? Because I have it right here. You had Marty Morningway, that's one. Greg Roman, Todd Monken. In a span of 7 years. Hey, Chrissy. In a span of 7 years, this guy's had 3 offensive coordinators. And we still talking about with those 3 different coordinators that he can't get the ball into the wide receiver's hands. So whose fault is it? If you change the offensive coordinator 3 times in 7 years, so that's an average about what? 1.5 years. All right, we're talking about 1.5 years, a little bit over. So every other year, for the most part, every 16 to 18 games, they are changing offensive coordinators. Every 16 to 18, probably a little bit more, that the Baltimore Ravens are changing offensive coordinators to make Lamar Jackson a better quarterback. And in those 16 to 18 games, All three offensive coordinators still can't design an offense to get the ball into the hand of a wide receiver. The offensive coordinator's job has changed 3 times with the tenure of Lamar Jackson, and they're still having the same issue with that offense. That's the thing that is funny as hell to me. Oh, y'all can throw whatever y'all want to. You look, this is why it's a Q&A. Y'all got questions, y'all throw it. But we have to stop the notion that it's all about talent. It's everybody else. Well, Baltimore doesn't bring in no. Let me. I'm glad he said something. I want to throw some numbers in here with another quarterback because this guy was able to do it. I'm glad you just said that because I think this is incredibly funny. Jude, what's going on, brother? Because it's so funny to me that all of this is happening when you have a quarterback that's under the same, almost the same teams for the same scheme, same head coach, but this guy was able to do it. And I'm not going to go too far down the rabbit hole with this one because I think this is incredibly telling. And I'm going to use the last, you know what? No, I'm going to go back. I want to go to this year because I think this year is better. Because I'm going to go 2017 Baltimore Ravens team. And that 2000 Baltimore Ravens team had a quarterback named Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco in 2017 was able to throw for about 3,000 yards. Because everybody want to point the finger and say it's everybody else. We got guys like Mike Wallace. He was able to get the ball to the wide receiver's hands. Jeremy Maclin was another guy. They was able to get the ball. He was able to get the ball into those guys' hands. Nobody denied whether or not Joe Flacco was able to get the ball into the wide receiver's hands. So you got 2 guys within that offense that were able to get the ball in their hands at the very least 40 times. But you got a guy like Lamar Jackson, we say time and time again, is everybody else's fault. Joe Flacco was able to put up damn good numbers with the same system, same exact system now. Time and time again, we saw Joe Flacco was able to put up some damn good numbers for them. He had 6, 7, 8 years out of his career with Baltimore where he threw the ball for well over 3,500 yards and was able to get the ball into their hand, to the wide receiver's hands. But the quarterback that you have right now, he barely even get the ball to the quarterback. So how many times are we going to keep going to that same well where you change offensive coordinators, you change the wide receivers time and time again, and Baltimore Ravens have been one of those organizations that you cannot say that they don't understand and they can't develop and they don't get talent because they're constantly winning. They had a winning culture long before Lamar Jackson got there, and they was able to get over that hump. They were able to get over that hump time and time again, get to a Super Bowl and actually win it. This is probably the most offense that Baltimore has had in over 25 years under Lamar Jackson. In the past 20 something years or so, this is probably the best that we've seen this offense in Baltimore. So what really is the issue when it comes down to Baltimore? And I want to read some comments from y'all. Like I said, look, spit it real. How you feel, however you feel it. I wanted Baltimore fan was considered Flacco, Trent Dilfer better quarterbacks than Lamar. And I want to read some comments too. And I think it's just hilarious because we literally just seen him get on social media and crash out because somebody said something. So I think this is hilarious that somebody said. He said Lamar don't make excuses. Now, as fans, we have the right to speak when you keep constantly coming for the quarterback. Y'all said it wouldn't be great in the NFL. Y'all keep moving the goalposts with him. Lamar needs to be better. True. You hear that? Let me say this again. Listen to this comment. He said Lamar doesn't make excuses. Now, as fans, we have the right to speak when y'all keep constantly coming for the quarterback. Y'all said it wouldn't be great in the NFL. Y'all keep moving the goalposts with him. And then at the very and then that sentence go to say, well, Lamar needs to get better. True. But can y'all for once mention that the team around him needs to be better? Does anybody see anything wrong with that? That's the question I have for everybody right now. He says the team around Lamar Jackson needs to be better. How much better do these guys need to be? Please, someone answer that for me. Because this guy says in a sentence that Lamar needs to get better, but then in the same sentence, he said, well, the team needs to be better. Speak your piece. What's going on? So which one is it? You don't want people to tell the truth about Lamar, but you turn around and say in the same sentence, he needs to be better and the team needs to be better. Well, how do you get to the playoffs if the team not good? If the team isn't good, how do you make it to the playoffs? How do you win 10 plus games in a season if the team isn't better? So a lot of them are saying that Lamar Jackson has never had a number one receiver. I call bullshit on that. Why? Because Kansas City didn't need a number one wide receiver to make it to the Super Bowl. They didn't make it. They didn't need a number wide receiver to make it to a Super Bowl, yet they did it fucking twice. Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver did not lead them in receptions and yards and all the type of stuff. We see right now in the world champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley was the main attraction of their offense. Yet they found a way to get to the Super Bowl. Mark Andrews is the number one target. He's the number one guy on that team and has been for the last 5 years or so under Lamar. What are you talking about having the number one guy? Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs with Travis Kelce for the past, what? I can say for the past 5, 6, 7 years under Andy Reid. He's been the number one guy. I mean, it can't be about receivers because he's had 2,000-yard receivers in Hollywood Brown and Zay Flowers last year. It can't be about the number one. It's about the excuse, and this is the problem. This is the issue that I have. Y'all want to change the dynamics when you've clearly had the Atlanta Falcons threw for 3,500 plus yards with two quarterbacks. And the Falcons almost had three wide receivers with over 1,000 yards or close to it. How can the team get better if the quarterback doesn't step up and get better? Simple as that. If the quarterback doesn't do his job, how can we keep blaming everybody else for it? We know when it gets down to crunch time, Lamar's going to use his legs and use his legs and use his legs. When they get down 2, 3 touchdowns, they stop. They open the offense up and say, Lamar, run. They don't say Lamar pass. They say, Lamar, all right, time to use your leg. Let's get faster. This is the second, third year in a row that we done heard the changes with Baltimore Ravens when it come down to Lamar Jackson, when they can't get the ball into their receivers' hands. Guess what the receivers say in the offseason? Guess what Lamar said in the offseason? They didn't say he didn't work on it. They didn't say Lamar worked on his passing. They say Lamar got faster. He looks incredibly faster. Lamar has to rise to the occasion. I believe he will before it's all said and done. I mean, Jude, look, if I had $1 million, I know what I would do. I would help so many people. But I'm not a millionaire yet. So I can keep on dreaming. Dreaming, dreaming, dreaming. If you continue to lose the exact same way over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, is it more of a dream or what is it? Is it reality? Because the conversation with Lamar isn't the fact that is he a quality quarterback? Is he a good quarterback? Is he an efficient player? All of that is yes. But if you keep losing the exact same way over and over and over again, what are you? Because we have a term for that in basketball. The New York Knicks is the New York Knicks is the champions of almost. You talk about almost? Ain't nothing in no franchise in basketball. I mean, the New York Knicks are the champions of almost. They almost made it to the Eastern Conference. They almost made it to the finals. They almost did a lot of stuff. But how many times we're going to say, is this good guy really good because he does this and they get there? But we keep talking about what if. I think he will when it's all said and done. It's been 8 years. Matt Ryan played 14 years in the league. And this dude is considered a failure even when he's made it to the Super Bowl. Even when he's had an MVP, he's considered a failure. A guy like Eli Manning is considered a failure, and he has 2 championships. And when he got to the playoffs, he played damn good. So how many times is this more about us liking Lamar Jackson? Because the reality of it, he is a failure. It doesn't matter how many times you play well in a regular season. It doesn't matter how many times that you play well in playoff games and certain playoff games. Did you get it done? The definition of insanity, and is the same thing every season, expecting different results. Every year, the Baltimore Ravens stack their defense to try to make sure that they can overcompensate for what Lamar lacks in clutch situations. Every year, and it has never changed. If the Baltimore Ravens are going to win a championship, it's going to be on the back of Lamar. And I'm not talking about Lamar in the regular season. If he's going to win a championship, he got to find a better way to get the ball. Stop checking the ball down to wide to tight ends and running sideways and running around in 15 circles until you see somebody open. Because that's the only thing that changed about Lamar Jackson. He runs and runs and runs and runs and runs, and then he'll find somebody open and he throws it. It's not developing as a quarterback. You're using your athleticism to overcompensate for what you can't do, and that's read defenses. And old Tanky Poo, here he goes. I know you would love this. Let's not act like Lamar hasn't got better as a passer. Numbers prove it. Blah blah blah. Yes, he can be better in certain situations, but it's not like his game didn't improve. It hasn't. Nothing about his game has changed. And he proved it yet again. You brought in a 2,000-yard running back, and the offense opened up. The lanes opened up, which allowed him to run free a lot more, and defenses wasn't allowed to stack the line the way that they stacked the line, and wide receivers and tight ends end up getting wide open. That's what changed. It wasn't the fact that Lamar changed as a quarterback, because if that was the case, he would have done so without Derrick Henry. The fact that you got Derrick Henry and you finally threw for 4,000 yards proved to me that you did not improve as a quarterback. Because this is the reason why I say that. Because what happens when a running back becomes unstoppable? What does a defense typically does? Stack the box. And when you stack the box, what typically happens? One-on-one. Wide receivers typically have one-on-ones. Tight ends usually don't get boxed in. So they have one-on-one opportunities. So he didn't get better as a quarterback. The spacing improved for Baltimore, which gave the illusion that Lamar got better of a quarterback. But he did not get better as a quarterback. Spacing in football means everything, people. This is the reason why there's a things called drag routes with Baltimore. If there's any team in the NFL that use drag routes and crossing routes more than them, then look, they are the king of it. But in order for you to run those drag and crossing routes, it has to be what? The threat of a running game. A good offensive line that allow the tight ends and running and wide receivers to run across the field the way that those routes for a wide receiver are difficult. And they don't work if you don't have time in the pocket. And you have to have the ability to freeze the linebackers, in which they do. And they have the ability in two guys. And that's Lamar Jackson himself, because he's a threat out of the backfield as a runner. And then you have the runner here in itself. And Derrick Henry. So the spacing improves for the Baltimore Ravens. It wasn't the fact that he improved as a quarterback, because again, when it came time for them to put up those numbers and stop running 50 billion times, they didn't do that. Failed. The defense improved towards the end of the season. Matt Ryan is on here, T-Buck, because of everybody say that Matt Ryan sucked and he's not a Hall of Famer because of what? He didn't get the job done. He didn't get the job done in the playoffs. So if that's so, then why are we praising a guy like Lamar Jackson for consistently not getting job done? Lamar Jackson gets praised for losing. And Matt Ryan, a lot of people want to keep him out of the Hall of Fame because he didn't win. Make that make sense. You a lie. They did do that. He drove them 60 yards down the field and scored a touchdown. The tight end dropped the ball. You see how they go to one play throughout the entire. This man they played. They go back to those 1-2 plays with Mark Andrews dropping the passes and blame it all on everybody else. and forget about the 60, 70, 80 yard, 80 other passing plays and plays in the game, but they belittle and try to demean all of the other players for one drop pass and one play. This is what they do at best. Lamar Jackson fans do exactly this. They love to say Andrews dropped the ball and that's the reason why they lost. Never mind that this dude has almost two turnovers every time he comes out and play in the playoffs. He averages about a turnover and a half than in every playoff during the playoffs. But we're going to point the finger at Mark Andrews dropping the ball 2 times in certain situations in cold, dusty ass weather. Yes, let's blame him for those one passes. Let's blame him for those one drops. You're absolutely right, Officer Balls Lives. We're going to put everything on Mark Andrews for dropping one pass out of 90-something plays in a playoff series, in a playoff period. This man dropped 2 passes in 2 situations, and we're going to blame all of those on those 2 plays. If that ain't insanity, I don't know what is. 2 plays, 4 quarters, and it's all Mark Andrews' fault. You hear it, people. You hear it. I didn't say this. I didn't make it up. They saying it. So we're blaming Lamar for the 2 turnovers. I don't care. I've seen I've seen Matt Ryan. I don't care who fault it is. I don't care none. I don't care about who fault it is. It happened. And it happens every playoffs. Because I've seen Tom Brady when they look, I've seen Tom Brady play like absolute greatness and they still lose. I've seen Matt Ryan play like great and they still lose. Those are team efforts. But for the life of me, I will never understand why a guy can average about 200 yards per passing per playoff series, and everybody else is at fault. It's everybody else's fault when he does the bare minimum. It's everybody else's fault when they drop one pass, miss one play, give up one touchdown, and miss certain field goals. It's everybody else's fault. But the quarterback the guy that's getting paid $50 million, his play got to step up. I don't care what the team is designed to do. I don't care what the team is designed to do. When I'm playing my guy $40 million, $50 million to be the superstar, his ass better learn how to play a goddamn punt returner. His ass better learn how to be an extended coach. He better learn how to goddamn get the ball to his playmakers. And I don't care if he got to underhand that bitch to him. Put some stickum on that motherfucker. He better learn how to do it. He better learn how to go and motivate the defense or something, and we get over the hump. There ain't no excuses. Oh, we've already said Joe Burrow, sir. You might want to go check out the rest of our. We actually did a video. We've done a video on Joe Burrow. He's right in the same boat. But stop deflecting. Stop being a little punk and stop deflecting. We talk about Lamar right now. Joe Burrow ain't did shit but throw for 4,000, 5,000 yards every damn year. So you can kiss off with that nonsense. That's a punk move to bring up somebody else when the conversation is this. The fact of the matter is this guy has failed. The fact of the matter is every year the Baltimore, they try to bring in defensive guys so they can compensate for what the hell Lamar can't do. They know Lamar is going to fucking choke in the playoffs. They know that offense is going to choke in the playoffs. It happens every year under his direction. It's like clockwork. They have some of the best draft. Look, they got Green. They got two young safeties, and one of they just drafted right now from the University of Georgia. And we still up here saying, yep, it's everybody else's fault. And they dropped the pass. For years and years in Baltimore, it was always everybody else's fault. For years and years, y'all blame Greg Roman for the lack of what? Numbers, improvement with that Baltimore Ravens, their offense not being able to go to the next level. Y'all blamed it on Greg Roman. And here he is with Todd Monken. Are they putting up more numbers? I guess you could say that. I'm not 100% sure because you got Derrick Henry right there, and Derrick Henry is I mean he's literally a top 3 running back right now. So I don't even know if it's really Todd Monken's offense that has changed it. I don't even know that Lamar Jackson has improved as a quarterback because you got a great running back. When you have great running back and a great running game like that and the stop a running game, I can't really tell you if a quarterback has improved as a quarterback. So when we talk about the fact of the matter is you can keep throwing all these damn individual accolades, but what the fuck, where in the heck does those individual accolades lead to? Because he's not putting up 4 to 5 touchdowns in the playoffs. Oh, we forgot about that part, didn't we? Y'all was not saying that prior to him coming to Baltimore. Y'all said he was washed. No, I don't know. No, you might well you may be talking about somebody else because nobody said nothing about no damn Derrick Henry was washed. Tennessee Titans wanted to move on from him and allow him to go. They did not want to pay him the money that he wanted. The end. I don't know a single person that said Derrick Henry was washed. I don't know. I don't think anybody who has been on this channel has said Derrick Henry was washed. Not a sane person. Not a single person. Whether it's pro Lamar or pro whoever, nobody has ever stated that Derrick Henry was washed. We just said he was an aging running back, and typically aging running backs for the most part, they typically don't put up these numbers. So Derrick Henry is a freak of nature, and we know that. Yeah, we know. We know. I know. He put up 4 touchdowns. We talking about consistently. Okay, I don't want to hear nothing about that. Look, you supposed to be the MVP. You supposed to be the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't need you scoring 4 touchdowns sparingly. Nope. Yeah, I need that to be consistent. If I'm paying you $50 million to be a superstar, I don't want to hear no excuses. It's 3+ touchdowns every single game. The end, including the playoffs, because you're supposed to be the best quarterback in the NFL. You're supposed to be the more electrifying, the most, the highest paying. I don't want no excuses. We get a bunch of freaking excuses when it comes down to this dude. It's everybody. It's the offense. It's the front office. They can't bring in a wide receiver. How many damn wide receivers? D. Hopkins. They brought in all these other wide receivers to play with him. And it still resulted to the same thing. He still can't get the ball into his wide receiver's hands. How many times is it going to be this? One thing I've said on top of it, and I'm going to say this, and this is why I wholeheartedly agree. I've seen this. I've seen it. No one, despite how anybody feels about Michael Vick has never struggled getting the ball to his wide receiver's hands. Ever. Even when he wasn't that great of a quarterback in Atlanta, he still got the ball to his wide receiver's hands. Nobody ever said, never, a wide receiver with Michael Vick has never said Mike Vick wasn't able to get me the ball. Not a one. Nobody has ever said, see, this is where you're talking about completion percentage. See, you don't even know you don't know, you have no clue about what you're talking about. Listen to me and listen to me closely. No wide receiver has ever said to Michael Vick that Michael Vick couldn't get the ball into the wide receiver's hands. Macklin, Jack, Finneran, Roddy, nobody has complained about Michael Vick's not being able to get the ball into his wide receiver's hand or not having any sort of chemistry with his wide receivers. Ever. Yet we see this year after year. He always throws to his tight ends. Of course they have. That's why bro, what are you talking about? Hollywood Brown didn't, he wanted to go. Zay Flowers in the offensive coordinator right now, Todd Monken, is literally saying that they got to do a better job to get the ball into the wide receiver's hand. What in the bloody hell are you talking about? Mm-hmm. Yep. He left because he wasn't gonna get the ball and they wasn't gonna pay him. Hollywood Brown, stop. Don't play that. You can say whatever you want. That would have been a wasted investment if they would have paid Hollywood Brown because Lamar was not gonna get him the ball. Y'all can sit up here and talk about all this shoulda, woulda, coulda, woulda. Well, it ain't happened. I'm done. I'm look, y'all can say what the hell y'all want to say, but you're everybody who is Lamar Jackson fan and right now is absolutely insane. You people are insane. This dude is a loser. That organization is known for consistency. And all they've been doing under Lamar Jackson is underachieving consistently. Everything about the Baltimore Ravens right now. If you put any other quarterback right now, you put Joe Burrow with that team, they go to the Super Bowl. You put Patrick Mahomes in that team, they go to the Super Bowl and win it. You put Jalen Hurts on that team, they go to the Super Bowl and win it. You put Michael Penix, you put Kirk Cousins with that team, they go to the championship and they win it. You put Baker Mayfield on that team, they go to the championship and win it. But everything that team, you put that team, you put a quarterback, you put a healthy Kirk Cousins with that team with a running back like Derrick Henry. Come on, bro. You put Joe Burrow with that team, a healthy team. Yeah, come on, stop it. They win it. They go to the Super Bowl. You put Matt Ryan and any other quarterback, you put them with that team, I guarantee you, they go to a Super Bowl. And they find a way to win it. This dude he is the quintessential Lou Hallelujah as a her, and yet y'all praised by his MVPs and the numbers and his rushing yards. This dude gets MVPs because he's rushing for 600 for 1,000 yards. He's good. He's winning. This dude is winning MVPs for the sole reason of rushing for touchdowns, for rushing for yards. Not quarterback play, but rushing for yards. You put a top quarterback, you put Jared Goff on that Baltimore team, they go to the Super Bowl. You see what Jared Goff did with the Detroit Lions. Unfortunately, injuries this past season destroyed that team. But you put Jared Goff on that team, these guys go to a Super Bowl. Or they really bail it out with the Chiefs, with the Bills. You put Matt Ryan with that team, with that defense, with that running game, with that offensive line, with that coaching staff, please. These guys win at least one Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, this is the last chance for Lamar. He better get it done. If he wants to be regarded as one of the greatest NFL quarterbacks to ever had, he has to make it to a Super Bowl. I don't care about him making it. I don't care about him winning it because obviously it is a team game. But dude, you haven't even made it yet. And you can't say that the Baltimore Ravens lack good coaching because that's a lie. You can't say that they lack talent because that's a lie. You can't say that they lack offensive line because that's a lie. You can't say that they lack running backs because that's a lie. You can't say that they lack receivers and tight ends because that's a lie. You can't say that they lack special teams because that's a lie. The dude has everything. And the Philly content creators, I forget his name, but he was absolutely right. There is nothing about this guy at this point in time. He got no excuses. None. Zero. Zilch. Because he's been healthy. His players have been there. His defense, all these guys have been there. You failed. He failed. If Matt Ryan failed this many times, Matt Ryan failed for year after year after year and finally got it done at 16. But after 16, everybody ready to throw him in the trash. Everybody ready to throw him in the trash before he got to 16. The general consensus with Matt Ryan during that time was he will never get it done, and he's just always going to be a numbers guy. And this is why we comparing this guy. What's the difference? There is no difference. There's no difference between Lamar Jackson and Matt Ryan. I hate to say it, pro or con, either guy. There's no difference between these guys. Zero. They both failed. But the thing with Matt Ryan and Lamar had top 10 defenses. Lamar had top 10 offensive lines. Lamar had top 10 running backs. Matt Ryan never had a running back that rushed for 2,000 yards. Never. You give Matt Ryan what Lamar has. You give 70% of the quarterbacks. Look, Brock Purdy is a perfect example of this. You give him a complete team, these guys can at least get you to the Super Bowl. You give most of the quarterbacks the team that Lamar has around him with the coaching staff, these guys make it to a Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles is a perfect example of this on top of it. So y'all can sit up here and live in fantasy world all you want to, but that don't work with me. I don't care about I don't care about y'all imaginary numbers. I don't care about your imaginary love and look. I don't care about your Lamar Jackson jersey that you bought. I don't care about none of that. Y'all can sit up here and say one play. If it came down to one play in the game and your quarterback didn't have the best game, then look, y'all can save that crap because Lamar Jackson did not have the best game when they played against the Bills, against the Chiefs. It didn't come down to Lamar making one throw and one this and one that. No, I'm not nasty. Look. See, the thing is, y'all finger smelling that man boogers. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all want to be all up his nose, smelling his snot, smelling his boogers. Y'all want to be down his gut, smelling what the fuck he ate. I don't care nothing about that. If your quarterback is not making and being consistent in playoff games, then you can save all that nonsense for somebody who cares. Because I don't care. I need my quarterback to be consistent. I need it when I need him to make plays. I need him to be making plays consistently. You can save that for somebody who cares. I don't. I don't care about Lamar being black. I don't care about how many rushing yards that he made. I don't care about how many regular season MVPs he don't win. You can save that for somebody who cares. Y'all want to crown Tom Brady the GOAT because he every situation when he get down in them 2-minute offenses, you know Tom Brady gonna put on a motherfucking show. You know in a 2-minute offense, guys like Drew Brees gonna put on a motherfucking show. You know when it get down in 2-minute offense that Matt Ryan is gonna put on a motherfucking show. You know when Matt Ryan is playing a top 10 defense, a top 15 defense, Matt Ryan gonna put on a motherfucking show. You know when Patrick Mahomes is in the big time, he gonna put on a motherfucking show and he gonna find a way to step up when the time matters. No excuses. So Lamar Jackson can suck an elephant nipple off if all I care. You can please step to the side with that nonsense.
He has no excuses this year. Zero. I am all for the brother finally getting there, but he got no more excuses this time. Zero. The end. If you don't get it, you are going to be regarded as the most overrated quarterback in NFL history. Kirk Donovan McNabb would go, look, there's so many other quarterbacks. If they had with Lamar, these guys would be in the Super Bowl. They would be in the Super Bowl. The Baltimore Ravens is one of the most perfect organizations in football. I can say that with all 100% accuracy and honesty. The Baltimore Ravens, if you talking about football, these guys know how to build a team. They know what they're doing. This is a championship organization. And the fact that under Lamar's tenure, they have completely and consistently failed. With players that with quarterbacks that haven't had the talent that Lamar Jackson, somehow they were able to get to a Super Bowl and win it. But with a guy with Lamar Jackson's talent, they found a way to lose. Why is it that? Why is that? Think about that for a second. Why is it that underperforming or quarterbacks that don't have the talent that Lamar has, they've won it? But what the guy with the talent level of Lamar Jackson, they have found a way to lose it in every which way, fashion, shape, fashion. They have done that. You can say, look, I don't care about you, officer. I don't care about you. I don't care what your definition of overrated is. Overrated. Y'all like to put sugar on your cornflakes. I don't. I like to eat my shit plain. Plain and fucking simple. I don't want to put no sugar, no honey, no bananas, no none of that bullshit. Y'all want to put sugar and bananas and all that. Look, give me them raw ass goddamn cornflakes. Give me them stale ass cornflakes. I eat it like it is. And sometimes y'all need to eat it like it is. But y'all want to do all this extra shit to try to save him. And say, no, it ain't no saving him. The Baltimore Ravens have been a team that consistently found a way to get themselves to a Super Bowl, even with a quarterback that is not where we would say he's an elite quarterback. They found a way. But right now, when you got a quarterback that's putting up all these numbers, Baltimore has consistently found a way to lose. But y'all want to y'all want to put all this sugar. I know, John. I know. I'm just making a point. I'm just making the point, John. But my thing is it's like, look, everybody like to put all this stuff all on Lamar, this and that and this. No, it's time to be real about it. It's time to be real about it. Stop putting all that extra stuff on it. We got to be real about it. This is about honesty. It was time for me to be real and honest about Matt Ryan. We were never going to, after 2017, 18, I knew it was over. When we couldn't get past the Eagles that year, I knew the Matt Ryan era, the Julio Jones era was done. And this is where the Baltimore Ravens is. This is exactly where they are. They are right now in the 2018, 2019 Atlanta Falcons. Because if they don't get this done one last time with Lamar Jackson, how long are you going to keep doing this? How long are you going to continue? How long are you gonna continue to make chance after chance and just try to look? Baltimore, you got the Saints. They still trying to do the same thing. They trying to hang on to the Sean Payton era. It's done. You need to get rid of AK. It's over. You need to get rid of that old ass defensive, whoever the hell he is, the defensive lineman. Like, bro, it's over. Get it over. It's done. That era is dead. Look, man, it ain't nothing wrong with admiring talent, but at some point you got to be real. How long do you guys think that Baltimore is going to keep doing this? Investing in defensive players, investing in all these players when you put $200, $300 million invested in Lamar Jackson just to lose every year. The same way. This is reality. The reality is it's not working. And if it doesn't happen this year, because there's a lot of teams in that AFC, bro, these guys are getting better. Just saying. Is Matt Ryan a loser? I want Matt. Look, what do you mean by loser? He ain't won a championship. That's what y'all say. It's all about winning championship. So if he ain't won a championship, he's a loser. See, this is where he think he got me. People think they smart and they think they got me. I didn't say Matt Ryan didn't have a Hall of Fame career, but Matt Ryan is a loser because he didn't win a championship. Duh. Like, what the fuck wrong with y'all? Like did y'all mama breast did she breastfeed y'all? Because y'all act like y'all on that other type of milk. If you don't win the championship, you're regarded as a loser. Michael Jordan is regarded as the greatest of all time because he's never lost the NBA Finals. What the fuck? He's a Hall of Famer because he put up Hall of Fame numbers. But if you don't win championship, you a loser. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Cam Jordan. I don't know. I'll think about the other Cam from Steelers, Cam Hayward. But no, you a loser, bro. Patrick Mahomes is regarded as one of the greatest of all time because look, this dude already putting up Hall of Fame numbers and he winning championships. So you can sit up here and try to put sugar all over Lamar all you want to, but the fact of the matter is he's a loser. He ain't won a damn thing. Nothing. The Baltimore Ravens. And y'all trying to convince me that the Baltimore Ravens don't know what they do because Lamar hasn't won. Well, they had it figured out before his ass came here. They won championships before his ass came here. Now all of a sudden Baltimore don't know how to build a team because Lamar losing. Make sense. Now all of a sudden Baltimore don't know how to build a defense. They don't know how to build a secondary. They don't know how to build an offensive line. They don't know how to draft wide receivers. Well, they were doing fine before he got here. Oh, that's one of my favorite movies, Mucho. Jim Carrey, I love some Jim Carrey, y'all. That's my dog, bro. But like I said, the fact of the matter is, like, everybody like to put sugar all. Look, no, it ain't no sugar coating it. Until this dude win a championship with all them numbers and accolades that he got, look, he's a freaking loser. Like he ain't nowhere near Matt Ryan. This Matt Ryan done doubled this. Look, this dude right now in 7 years and played more starting games than Michael Vick, and he still doesn't have more passing yards than Michael Vick. That is sad, y'all. How you have played more games, more passing yards, all that you've done all of this, won MVPs, and you have yet to throw for more passing yards than Michael Vick. Y'all look. Y'all can look again. Y'all can put all the trimmings all on your meals all you want to, but the fact of the matter is, this dude ain't nothing but a walking running back at quarterback. No, that's not. All pros, 3 all pros. You don't even know that. People think Lamar got the. No, he does not have. Look, y'all can say all that want to. That is not Hall of Fame. You know how many quarterbacks in the NFL got 20,000 passing yards? A lot of them. That does not make Lamar Jackson a Hall of Famer. Y'all need to look up the numbers before y'all start talking all this dumb stuff surrounding players. Look at the qualifications before it. Abi Hassan. Yeah, you're a clown. Man, you don't go put your goddamn cloak on or something and shut the fuck up. All right. Get your ass out of here, Abdi Hassan. The fuck out of here. Sit your goofy ass down somewhere. Hiding behind the goddamn man, sit down somewhere. That's what happened when y'all talk about their booty butt. When you talk about their booty buddies in reality, when you talk about reality, they say you're obsessed with them. Man, look. I bet your pants. Look, this man. You know how they be doing in prison? They got they you know they say what they got these men be when they had their pants sagging in prison. These Negroes literally have their pants sagging for Lamar Jackson and be caught telling me I'm obsessed with him. You try to find channels that hate Lamar just so you can call somebody a clown, but I'm the one who clown. I'll be able to Abdi. Oh, he said I wear 110. Man, sit down somewhere. Y'all see this internet bully, y'all. He said he will fuck me up. That man said I weigh 110 pounds. That's really interesting, y'all. I guess he knows me. At the end of the day, a lot of these Lamar Jackson fans, they just don't like to hear anything that's not praising him. And when you put ultimatums on any quarterback's career, any player's career that is when you put ultimatums on a player's career that is beloved by the masses, this is what happens. You get called a clown for it. And if you know anything about me, I don't give a fuck. Joe Burrow is in the same boat as Lamar. Josh Allen is in the same boat as Lamar Jackson. You got any more questions? Abdi. What's up? You got any more questions? Abdi. Abdi. Come on, brother. I know you got better than that. See, he thought this. See, he thought it was just all about a clown Lamar Jackson. The topic in itself is about Lamar. But if you got questions, sir, I'll be glad to answer them. You fucking punk. The fuck out of here. You thought I was just gonna sit there and say that you thought I was just gonna sit there and just and just bash and just have a channel about bashing about Lamar. No. Joe Burrow is in the same. He been to a Super Bowl. I can say that. He performed well. He got them there with the help of guys like our safety Jesse Bates. Defensively, he helped him get there. Jamar, like those guys helped him get there. At least he got there. But Joe Burrow, he's in the same boat because now they got Chase. They don't pay Higgins. They got all these offensive guys, and they don't have the defensive guy. They're not paying the defensive guy. So Joe Burrow is in the same boat. Josh Allen, again, he's won. These guys have won so many games with the Bills. Top defenses, top 10, top 15 defenses, top offenses, and Josh Allen has failed time and time again. All these guys, Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow is in the same boat. It's now or never for the most part. They've all failed. So take your little fake outrage for Lamar Jackson and step to the right. All right, just step to the right. Cause y'all Lamar Jackson y'all Lamar Jackson fans are acting like Beyonce right now, and you got the nerve to put some damn rainbows in here with your booty hugging ass. He up here all on Lamar Jackson, put some rainbows. Like, you probably damn rainbow probably shooting out your ass right about now. Got a nerve to put some rainbows in here. Up here, goddamn, trying to up here. Oh man, you don't like Lamar? Get out of here. Put some rainbows in here when he up here, goddamn, bending over backwards for Lamar. Boy, sit your goofy ass down somewhere. We don't do that homophobic stuff over here, sir. All right. We don't call people gay and all that type of stuff. It is what it is. If you want to talk gay and all that type of stuff, this ain't the channel for you. We talk about football, so we ain't gonna have no gay bashing over here. That ain't happening. So you might want to find somewhere else to go if this is how you gonna be. We don't do that over here, pimp. You want to talk ball, let's talk ball. But if you ain't gonna talk ball, you gonna throw that gay stuff out here, yeah, check out. We don't do that around here. We keep it ball, we keep it conversational, we talk trash, but keep that gay shit to yourself. That's what happens when you can't bring facts, stats, and the truth about stuff. People try to oh, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay, you're gay. Man, shut up. Shut your ass up. Look, if you've seen any of our videos and our I mean, all you got to do is go on our channel. You can just put Lamar Jackson and Mad Mike Sports. We've had live shows where we've done pros and cons of Lamar Jackson. So if you think this channel is about bashing Lamar, you haven't been here. You haven't been here long. So I suggest you either subscribe and learn more about what we and how we think and watch some of our old videos. Subscribe, learn something. But if you're not willing to, if you just here to troll and take up for Lamar periodically, then look, you can be gone. Nah, like I said, Bernard, look, again, bro. This is not about picking on Lamar. But that's what happens when you got his super fans. They come out of they just come out of the woodwork thinking this is just personal with Lamar Jackson. It ain't personal because there's a lot of quarterbacks that are in the exact same. Like I said, like this is why the conversation. This is why the show is about Matt Ryan and Lamar. What's the difference? Because both of these guys are in the same boat in their career. Lamar Jackson could go down as one of the greatest statistical award-winning quarterbacks to ever live, and Matt Ryan exactly that. Both of these guys put up a bunch of numbers, respectively, for the type of quarterback they are, and they never won anything. But the difference between Matt Ryan, he's actually been there. So this ain't. Yeah, there was actually thought out. We actually think about what we talk about over here. So again, if you are a follower, look, we all about trash talk. We talk crap, but nah, we don't do that gay. We don't do the gay stuff. Keep the rainbows and stuff, man, because we got people of all nationality and creeds over here, and we all love the sport. We love sports. We love wrestling, and yeah, I don't want to create a platform where everybody feel like because they sexuality or whatever the hell their case may be, we picking on them because of that. That ain't what I'm trying to do over here. That ain't what we about. It's like I said, it's hilarious. It's hilarious, John. A lot of people just only see a certain they only see certain things about the conversation. They only hear certain things about the conversation and think, "Oh, you just hate them." No, no. If you take the time, ask questions, sit down and have a conversation, you'll see where we're coming from. That's why we like to ask questions. A lot of people like to think that we trying to bully people when we ask questions. No, we're asking you questions because we're trying to see where you're coming from. And once we know where you're coming from, then we can make it. Now we can make a change, and now we can understand where you're coming from. I ain't saying nothing about no win to a Super Bowl. Just get there. Look, look. I don't know if this. Y'all need to understand this. Y'all need to understand this as a fan. Organizations don't care about if it's hard. They don't care. Okay? The Patriots never cared about Tom Brady taking them to 4-5 of the Super Bowl. They didn't give a damn. They felt that they've already been there. They won championship. They did not care that Tom Brady got them to 4 Super Bowls or 5 Super Bowls, however it was. 5 Super Bowls. They did not care. They felt that he was old, he was declining, and he would not lead them to another Super Bowl, so they got rid of him. So if that happens to Tom Brady, what in the hell do you think is going to happen to Lamar? If the Atlanta Falcons said to Matt Ryan, who's been the best quarterback in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, more consistent quarterbacks in the NFL, and the Atlanta Falcons said, you know what? It's 2018. We've been here 12, 13 years, and we still yet to win a Super Bowl with you. You got to go. What in the hell makes you think that the Baltimore Ravens are not thinking the exact same thing about Lamar Jackson? Y'all got to come to reality, bro. Reality is everything. I know he ain't asking no Marino or Flacco. Jesus Christ. I'm damn sure ain't answering that question. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you definitely a professional. You're definitely a troll. You just go from channel to channel trolling because anybody who likes football would even say Joe Flacco and Dan Marino, who better.
Yeah, come on, bro. You gotta be like 12. Like, come on, bro. Like, we really doing this? We really doing this, y'all? Talking about Joe Flacco or Joe Marino? Dan Marino. Like, huh? Joe Flacco, Marino, and Joe. What? Oh my God, my head hurt, y'all. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 35. I appreciate everybody for continuously supporting what we do. And like I said, man, um, I'll end it like this. There's a handful of quarterbacks that got a lot of pressure on them. It's not just Lamar. You got Trevor Lawrence. He's at a critical part in his career as a quarterback where he has to establish that he can do something. Okay. Besides look pretty on the sideline with long hair. You got Josh Allen has to prove that he can get to a Super Bowl. You got Joe Burrow. He has to prove that that wasn't a fluke year. He has to prove that. So it's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL that are at that point that they got to prove. They have a lot to prove. And it's, again, this is not, I mean, you look at Joe Burrow, he got to prove it too. So many, not Joe Burrow, but Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has to prove. He has to prove it. So he has to, thank you. He has to prove it. There's so many other guys that have to prove it in the NFL. But this conversation, we've already had that conversation. So again, all you gotta do, put Joe Burrow, Mad Mike Sports, or it's on 6-Man K Styles. But I have it in a playlist. So everybody can go back and listen to it because we've already had this conversation. This is not a pick on Lamar Jackson channel. This is about the truth and speaking the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help us God. So I mean, like I said, I've been on for about an hour and 35. And like I said, man, we gonna I don't know if Sam is gonna be going on, but Tuesday is typically our day off. I just decided, I normally, even on our day off, we try to at least try to put out some videos. I very seldom do a live show on Tuesdays, but during the regular season, but like I said, man, look, look, don't take what we say over here personally. It's all about the spirit of debate. And if you know about debate, it's going to be a lot of difference of opinion. It's going to be a difference of, people going to have certain type of energies, but don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. All right. And that's all I got to say about that. But I'm hungry. And Dak Prescott, I've done my thing on Dak Prescott. We'll probably do a live show on 6-Man K Style channel. So 6MK Live. His solo show is coming real soon. So y'all gonna start getting the 6MK and you're gonna get Kev. Okay? 6MK versus Kev. 6MK versus Kev. Y'all you do not want to miss that. You're gonna see a completely, I want to say a completely different version, but you're gonna get the version of Kev that we all know. All right, that we all know. So with that being said, continue to support your boy here at Mad Mike Sports, man. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, I got more wrestling content for you. If y'all want me to speak on matches, whether it's AEW, WWE, they got a couple of events coming up real soon. SummerSlam gonna be coming up. Got Night Champions of Saudi Arabia. We got all that. So if y'all want me to speak on some things and get my takes on things, just hit the comments. I will personally look. We watch all the comments over here.
So your comments will not go unseen. I promise you that. All right, I promise you that. And we will do a video, whether it's a video or a live show, we will get back to you. But that's the bottom line. Because Mad Mike said so. I'm out here, man. Peace.
Put your eyes back in your head.
Pop out like flavor.
Pry their eyes open and force them to see the truth. We will skin the sheep and sacrifice the weak. The unholy alliance has arrived.